Hey everybody, Mr. Dan here. Quick introduction. A few weeks ago, we had my dad come over. The kids were coming over, but he also wanted to watch football. So I got the Paramount app for him so he can watch football. And then I decided to keep it because there was actually some pretty good stuff on it. Twilight Zone, uh, some other good shows, and pretty good selection of movies. So video got a little longer than I wanted to, so let's just get right to it. I'm just going to basically scroll down and look at all the horror movies on the Paramount app and make some comments. Any questions or comments that you have, feel free to put them in the comment section and I'll respond. Thanks. Okay, so we're going to scroll down and see what Paramount has in the way of horror offerings here. I'm going to keep my eye out for some mad scientist type movies because I've been following along with Dr. Gangrene on YouTube. His October theme this year is Monsters Gone Wild, so he's been profiling a different mad scientist / monster movie every day in October, so I've been enjoying that series. And then also, if you see anything that you think I would like or that you've seen that you liked, especially if it's kind of obscure, please let me know. So the first thing I watched as soon as I got this was A Quiet Place 2, as I hadn't seen it. So I really enjoyed that. Thought it was just about as good as the first one. I think they set up a third one rather well. The other thing I did is I did just pick out a couple random movies and watch them. So far that hasn't gone really well. Case in point. Always watching A Marble Hornets Story. I never figured out why it was called A Marble Hornets Story. And I don't really care either. It was like a found footage type of film. Yeah, apparently it was based on a web series. So I could see it maybe working as a web series like in like 1998 or something. It might have been kind of captivating, but we've all been paranormal activity to death here. The figure was kind of cool to look at once or twice. It just didn't do it for me. The only notable thing about this is Angus Scrim appeared in it for about a minute. He played a mental patient, so he had a little cameo, but I would say don't bother. Here's one of the other big budget films that on here that I want to see. I haven't seen yet. Annihilation. Looking forward to that. American Fright Fest, I believe, is an anthology film, so always interested in an anthology film. There we go. This one might actually make the cut for Dr. Gangrene's Monsters Gone Wild. I'm not really sure, but Boris Karloff, the ape. I love Boris Karloff. Not crazy about ape suit movies. Here we have some Mystery Science Theater fodder. Attack of the Puppet People. Attack of the Giant Leeches. I think both of those were Mystery Science Theater episodes. Pretty hilarious. Now over here, this is really interesting considering the stream that I watched yesterday. Are You in the House Alone? This came up on a stream that the Real Queen of Horror had with Amanda Reyes, who is a TV historian and author, and she's one of her niches is like made-for-TV movies. So she actually wrote a book called Are You in the House Alone, and which I actually purchased this morning. So waiting for that to arrive in a few weeks. And I have actually never seen this particular made-for-TV movie. I'm a fan of made-for-TV horror movies, so I'm looking forward to that. So that was on the Real Queen of Horror channel. If you want to go back and watch that stream, and it was a fun one. The Bat, just saw that a couple months ago. Vincent Price and Agnes Moorehead. It's pretty good. You got Bat People. Don't know anything about that. Beast of Yucca Flats is pretty yucca. Big Top Evil. Damn creepy clowns. Bitten. Don't know anything about that. The Black Sleep I watched today. And let me show you what happens in the Paramount app when you click on a title. You get a very minimal description. This is not like... They just give you a one-sentence description. So this is, and I was intrigued by this because it said the masters of classic horror gathered together. And yeah, I mean, this had Bela Lugosi, Basil Rathbone, Lon Chaney Jr. and it had Tor Johnson, that massive wrestler dude that was in the Ed Wood movies. Bela Lugosi didn't have much to do. I think this may have been his last film, actually. He played a mute character, and he was, he did a good job at it. He just didn't have much to do. The premise was pretty good. Would it be something we would see on Dr. Gangrene's comment, or not comment, on his countdown? Possibly. The Brain That Wouldn't Die. There you go. That's a classic. More Vincent Price. Comedy of Terrors actually started it. I just wasn't in the mood for it, so I'm going to go back and watch that again. Okay, now here's the second sort of big budget movie, or more well-known movie, that I watched. Crawl. I was really eager to see this, and I wasn't disappointed. Alligators during a hurricane, and you can't go wrong. It was well made, well acted, just well made. Did what it was supposed to do. Cry of the Banshee. That's a Vincent Price movie that is not one of his best, and if he wasn't in it, it wouldn't be worth a whole lot. Creature. That's a Klaus Kinski alien ripoff. Yikes. Croc. Don't know if that's any good. I know there's a crocodile. I don't think this is it. I think it's an Italian. No, that's not it. I'm pretty sure that's not it. Yeah, lose an arm and a leg. Haha. I know there's an Italian crocodile movie, I believe. It's basically like a Jaws ripoff. That's supposed to be pretty decent. Don't think that's it. The Curse of Bigfoot. Now let's look at this face here. This papier-mâche Bigfoot face actually scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. Believe it or not, as fake as it is. And the most hilarious thing about this was also a Mystery Science Theater movie that they riffed off of. The hilarious thing about this is the rest of the time Bigfoot is a guy in a wig. It doesn't even match. Okay, Dark Highlands. Here's the other movie I just took a shot, took a gamble on and watched, and it was okay. It wasn't great. Kind of interesting. There's a Japanese tourist who's visiting the Scottish Highlands, and he's a painter, so he's going to relax and do some painting, and he's stalked by a mysterious figure or figures, and it has some creepy moments. It has some pretty good ideas. He's really no match for his stalker, and he gets actually tranquilized a bunch of times, which is kind of creepy, because then he wakes up and he's groggy. He'll check his camera and he sees like all the things that the killer did around his campsite. It's kind of creepy. There's a kind of a twist ending that I did see coming. It was similar to a certain film by Lucky McKee. So I saw that coming. Let's see, Dementia 13, classic, haven't seen it in a while. The Devil Bat. The Devil Within Her, that's quite a poster there, interesting. Haven't seen that. Diary of a Madman, might have seen that. Die Monster Die with Boris Karloff, I believe. Oh, okay, oh yeah. Okay, this is the one of the early versions of The Color Out of Space. So I know when Ben from Cadaver Club unboxed his deluxe Color Out of Space set, I forget if it was, I'm sorry about that, if it was DVD or Blu-ray, this was one of the extra films on it. Oh, see, that's what happens if you click back twice. You go all the way back. Okay. There we go. Dr. Blood's Coffin. This is one that could make the cut for Dr. Gangrene's. Boy, I'm having problems saying that tonight. Dr. Gangrene's Monsters Gone Wild series. I watched it a few years ago. It's fun. Schlocky, but just kind of fun. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, I'm not sure which one that is. Drive a Massacre, that's one that actually Dr. Gangrene hosted on his, I believe on his Nashville program. It's pretty cheap. Okay, here we got Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, which is probably my least favorite in that Hammer series, starring Peter Cushing. The funny thing is, we have on the menu for this Halloween season is Curse of Frankenstein. I'm going to show that one to my son. We've seen The Mummy and Horror of Dracula, so now it's Frankenstein's turn. we've seen all the Universal films, so all the main ones. So now we're going through the Hammer ones, and unfortunately they don't have that one. Apparently there is a connection between Hammer and Paramount, though, because I believe they have the Hammer House of Horror series on here, which is great. From a Whisper to a Scream, that's a Vincent Price movie. Apparently, from what I understand, he was not interested in the film, and it kind of shows. It's an anthology. He's kind of like the host, or he's in the wraparound segment, and he's not really into it, unfortunately, but some of the segments were okay. Grizzly Rage, Bears Scare the Hell Out of Me. I can only watch one bear movie every 10 years. Let's see. Oh, this is hilarious. This one I rewatched. The House Where Evil Dwells. Looks like a new movie right now. This is from 1982, with Doug McClure and Edward Albert. Can't remember the name of the English girl in it. English woman, I should say. Yeah, this was a movie I watched. I slept over at my friend's house, and we stayed up late and got our kicks out of watching a rated R movie that had ghosts and ghosts inhabiting people that were involved in a love triangle, and subsequently picked up samurai swords and had a fight. And there's an attack by crabs, including a couple bonus giant-sized crabs, and there's nudity. So we, back in middle school, we maybe even before middle school, but we enjoyed that at the time. It was fun to watch. It was funny. I mean, I got a kick out of it. Let's see. Body Snatchers, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I finally saw this after I'd seen all the other film adaptations. I was actually kind of mildly disappointed in a way. It was pretty good. But I just recently read the book. The book really grabbed me, even though I knew the basic story. Killer Shrews, classic Mystery Science Theater movie. A fun one. JD's Revenge, that's on my list. I've seen that mentioned on the lists that several YouTubers have made for African American History Month, things like that. I definitely want to check that out. Let's see, what else we got here? The Mad Monster. Oh, okay. Now this one, let me scroll down. Okay, let's do this one first, because this one, The Monster Maker, I watched a few months ago. So I stumbled upon this. It was on YouTube. So a lot of these are on YouTube as well. So if you don't have the Paramount app and you see an old schlocky movie on there, check YouTube. But this one I was intrigued by because it had Glenn Strange, who of course took over the Frankenstein's monster role from Boris Karloff. In this film, he's not the monster though. So which I found kind of perplexing. It was still pretty good. But when I saw Dr. Gangrene cover this one, The Mad Monster, with Glenn Strange, I was like, this is what I'm looking for. And this was much more like it. George Zuko plays the mad scientist in this one, and he turns his simple-minded gardener, played by Glenn Strange, who's actually pretty good at that, in that role, into a werewolf-like creature. As Dr. Gangrene describes him, he looks like a hillbilly werewolf, and he does. He wears clothes. He wears like a slouchy hat, and it's pretty funny. It's pretty good. Not pretty funny. It's fun. Okay. I'm getting distracted because dinner's ready. Let me just do a couple more here. Madhouse. That's a Vincent Price film I have not seen in a couple years. And I love horror hosts, and I know that one's kind of deals in that territory. Maneater. Pretty much I think you can tell what that's about from the thumbnail there. The only thing is I clicked on it, and it's interesting because it takes place in the Appalachian Trail. So it's about a tiger who is rampaging where he's not supposed to be. Mercy Christmas. I'm always up for a new Christmas horror movie. Don't know if it's any good. Messiah of Evil. That is free on YouTube as well. I'm interested to see if this copy looks better than the YouTube version. If you've ever seen any of my movies, and most of my movies, in most of my videos, I have the poster right behind me. I'm doing everything I can to generate interest and discussion in this film. I was just blown away by it when I stumbled on it. Moon of the Wolf, I think that's a werewolf movie with David Jansen. Murders in the Rue Morgue. Jason Robards, that looks promising. Some movie called Night of the Living Dead, I don't know. Just kidding. Of course, I have a couple copies of that because it's public domain. Overlord. Okay, now that's a more of a big budget mainstream movie on here that I haven't seen, so that's I'll be watching that one soon. I'm not sure which Phantom of the Opera that is. And like I said, this is not. If you click on it, it's not going to say like this is the one with Herbert Lom. It's just going to. Oh, 25. Okay, there. I can figure it out from 1925. It's that one. Okay. Phase 4 was on constantly when I was a kid. Ants Taking Over the World. The narrator, that's pretty hilarious. Planet of the Vampires I watched yesterday. That's pretty good. A Lamberto Brava film. Wonder if I've never heard it discussed as a possible inspiration for Alien, but I wonder if it is. And let me cut it there and I'll be back. So there you have it. That is the end of part 1. There'll be a part 2. I might also get into some of the TV offerings and maybe even do a quick review of some of the Twilight Zone episodes that I've seen. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Later.